Immortalians.
Hey, bro, how's it going?
So, that Binslord dude. I don't know
Yeah.
why he said go away to me, but,
Yeah.
I do know that he used Rogue's Gambit as a Mave. A level 52 Mave and claimed to be, and he claimed to be top 20 Mave in the world.
Hmm.
But he used Rogue's Gambit. The literal worst card she has. Like,
He-
whoop-de-doo, extra 40 damage on a pounce.
Yeah. So have you played Ghostface since his changes? I was actually thinking about making a video on it.
He actually got a good bit of, boofs. A good few boofs.
I've seen the 2 buffs he got, and honestly, they mean nothing if his power is too easy to break.
I mean, Ghostface means nothing if his powers are easy to break, or too easy to break.
That's my point. It doesn't matter if they buffed him or not if his power's trash.
Honestly, with Ghostface, what I'm trying to get are perks that, instead of helping me out with stealth, I want detection perk, like 1 detection perk to help me find them. And all 3 chase perks, and I'll just use my ability as an ability, rather than trying to build perks around it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm gonna test out Ghostface because the only 2 good things he got out of this patch, which I just don't understand, the devs.
So you're gonna play matches Ghostface?
Yeah, real quickly, and then I'll hop on and we'll play some Paladins ranked if that's what you want to do.
Alright, I'm gonna queue for a ranked match then.
I'm all down for that. But yeah, I just, it really annoys me because
Honestly, go ahead.
the amount of begging the community did for them not to go through with it, and they did it anyway. I mean, it's like, why do you claim you value community feedback when you clearly don't?
When most of the community said don't do the exact thing
Dude,
you wanted to do.
they even did a poll. 88%. Dude, 88%. The grand majority of the community said do not mess with him. But we all know they only listen to the little crybabies on Reddit. I don't even know.
I managed to get a team of a bunch of people that were like, oh, he's a diamond player, he is a god. So they listened to everything I said, and so I was able to very well coordinate the team.
We need to try to do that more often. It would help us climb our ranks a bit better.
Because 2 of them had mics, which I also did, and the other 2 didn't have mics, but they could hear my voice. So it was a godsend having everyone able to hear the person coordinating the attacks.
Yeah. If I could get game chat to work, I would use game chat more often, you know, because in ranked, communication is key.
Mm-hmm. Like, you can only get so far with just, I'll attack right flank, cancel that,
Yeah.
I'll attack left flank.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, you rock, cancel that.
Alright. But yeah.
Go Koga, go Koga, go!
Although I did get to talk to one of the devs while I was watching a stream from True Talent, if you know who he is. He's a Dead by Daylight streamer. And she was actually, it was not Queen, you might know who she is, the community manager for Dead by Daylight. She was actually going around asking how people were liking the hotfix and the changes. Let's just say I was probably the only one that wasn't being malicious about it. Because I told her that it was kind of disappointing in that it felt like our pleas were not being heard, and that was just
Because
cool.
they weren't.
Yeah. Oh, son of a bitch! I am rusty as fuck right now.
This is a good team comp.
All right, yes, I got.
We've got Koga, Drogos, Genos, Fernando, Barrack.
And so then I actually got to ask. I actually asked her the question about the whole thing with Object of Obsession, and she said that apparently it got passed on to the design team. But she doesn't know why they didn't go with it, or why they decided not to do anything about it.
I mean, it seems like Object of Obsession also completely ignores the distance thing that it normally is in
Because
place.
because apparently it's with Terror Radius, And since Ghostface has no terror radius in stealth mode, it's obvious why it isn't working.
Because, well, whenever you're in stalk, being taken out of your power is proximity-based and person viewing based.
Yeah.
So they can't do it across the map unless they have Object of Obsession.
I don't think Object of Obsession lets them do it from across the map. The problem with Object of Obsession is they get infinite aura reading on you, which and if you being able to see them doesn't mean anything as the killer, because the killer has to react to what the survivors do, not the other way around. So you getting to see them through the wall is not nearly as powerful as them getting to see you through the wall, because they hold the advantage at like jungle gyms and such.
You do have, that is gonna have to be the person that you focus down, like, immediately.
Yeah, but it's also the person you'll lose the most time to, which is why I think it's stupid how they figure Ghostface being able... It's like I said to Not Queen, I said, you know, the infinite the being able to stalk to extend the duration of the mark was definitely a bit of an issue, but how is that considered an issue? Yep, I was around the corner, she still broke me out. That's fucking awesome. Yep, Thanks devs for nerfing Ghostface and making him like he was in the fucking PTB all over again. Anyway, now that my mini rant is over, yeah, it's like they figure that him extending his mark is a problem, which it was, and I agreed to that. And yet,
yeah, that was pretty bad. That he could just hold L2 if you were about to come out, and he would just kind of fill it back up.
But then they decide, oh no, a survivor getting infinite aura reading against the killer and having a supreme tactical advantage against them. That's not a problem at all.
Like, Object of Obsession is supposed to be a risky perk, but against Ghostface there's literally no risk.
No, there isn't, because you get infinite aura reading while he gets nothing. Because, yeah, sure, he gets to see you as well, but what good does that do you? I'm gonna fuck you up. This is Survivor Friends. They're staying really close together, and they tried to firecracker me twice already. How in the hell? Okay.
So why is it that I'm Fernando and I'm the one being forced to main tank? That's
Dude,
not
I cannot.
Those aren't things that add up.
I love how the Survivor players are all like, "Oh, this isn't gonna change anything. It's so minute." Right.
Literally any change in that game changes actually everything.
Yeah, exactly. Because the devs never nerf killer a little bit. It's always a major nerf.
Oh my fucking god, Fernando is retarded when it comes to dealing with Skye.
Like, I can't even use my stock against these survivors, really. Because they're too alert. I can't, I mean, if I try to use my power against them, they just break it. I'm sure they'll give some bullshit excuse when the next dev stream comes out. They'll probably do what they did with Plague and say, oh, well, they were... Why do I keep hitting the wrong button? Anyway, they'll probably say like they were with Plague and be like, oh, well, Ghostface wasn't being played like we intended him to be. It's like, well, yeah, well, your fucking intention for how a killer's supposed to work sucks dick. Because you people don't understand how your game works. You only bounce around players who don't know how to fucking do anything. But that's why your community's pissed at you. You don't listen to community feedback, you only listen to one side of the community, and you make it more and more obvious with every chapter. You still haven't even mentioned anything about Plague, even though she's been performing so terribly on all 3 platforms.
That no one plays her?
That nobody plays her at all. When's the last time you've seen a fucking Plague, honestly?
I've seen a Plague once in my entire game, in my entire playtime of that game.
Yeah.
That's not even an exaggeration. That's legit, I've only seen her once.
Yep. Gets to break me out for free. I still can't use my power because, you know, the thing that sucks about them trying to make him forcefully be stealthy and he can't use his stock like Myers now, really, is the fact that these maps were not designed with Ghostface in mind. So obviously it's not going to work very well most of the time.
I mean, a lot of the maps are really good for him. And the game is surprisingly absurd.
they can be good for him, but it's like they're not good for him in the sense of how they should be good for him. They're only good for him because he can like sneak around. But the problem is, you're trying to beat third-person camera view with first-person. You're at a huge disadvantage, and now they've just made it even easier. It took very little skill before, and now they've made it to where it's piss-poor easy. If you want me to track you, I'll track you. Yeah, I knew you were gonna go for that pallet slam, you dumbass.
Well,
Oh,
this isn't very fun for me anymore.
You got no window. And now, you're out in the open. Now what are you gonna do? Do you have dead
Anyway.
hard? Oh, no, you got a pallet.
Anyways, that nerf is exactly why I ended up playing Legion instead.
Mm-hmm. I knew that nerf was gonna
It
be
actually
the
got
thing
pretty
that...
decent.
I knew that nerf that increased his area being broken out was gonna make him trash. I knew it was going to do it because the devs never handle anything balanced. It's always either survivor sided or nothing really. They just don't know how to actually quote unquote balance the game. Because I don't know why they're so hesitant to do it. It's like the community wants more strong killers. And it's not even just killer players. Survivor players also want more killers because they're tired of seeing the same 3 killers at high ranks. Because they're the only killers that are viable against the best of the best kind of teams, you know what I'm saying? But they don't want to do it because there's those little review bombing whiny baby assholes on fucking Reddit that are all like, oh, this killer needs to be nerfed. Oh, this is so difficult. Oh, it's not working properly. I can't break him out of stock. It must be bugged or it must be broken. It's too difficult to do.
Never ever is something that's strong intended to be strong. No, it's always a bug that needs to be fixed. And then the devs just kind of go along with it, like, oh, if they think it's a bug, it's a bug.
Yeah, exactly. Better than actually saying...
Never mind the fact that we completely intended this to be
yeah,
how it is.
It's like, no, don't even bother confessing that actually we meant for it to be this way. Far better to say that it was a bug and change it just so they can avoid backlash from the survivor community.
And get backlash from the rest of the community.
Mm-hmm. Because killers are considered secondary, even though they fucking spend more money on this game than any of the fucking survivors do, I'm sure. Yep, of course I can...
I love that Fernando just doesn't need Illuminate to deal with Sky. It's really fun.
Yeah. Alright. I'm literally sitting here as just a run and smack killer right now, and it really blows that this is what Ghostface has been reduced to. Glad I spent fucking $10 to get him and get a nice cosmetic for him, you know? Glad to see they value my fucking contribution to this game's success. And the contribution of everybody who fucking paid for this damn DLC just to get a killer that gets shit on all day. You know, it's like, I'm one of those guys who doesn't like people hazing on the devs all the time, because I'm like, you know, they're trying, they're making improvements, but when we have...
And then they do shit like that.
And then they do shit like this, and then it's like, you know, now I kind of understand why people want to just shit on them all the time and make them feel bad. Because some days it feels like they deserve it. I love these devs, man. They came up with a really cool idea, and they've been dedicated to it, and they've been trying to keep it going. But then they just don't give a shit about the people who are trying to give them actual valid feedback and try to help make this game more fun for everyone. I have no idea where the fuck this guy is. How is it that none of the people I actually have stalked are the ones that I'm finding?
I love Fernando's ability just to completely stop fighting tanks and then just charge the healer and win.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Fernando's honestly an undervalued tank.
Why would you do
Not
that?
many people have a build that they can use with him.
Maybe. But, I mean, he just lacks the tools to deal with champions with high burst DPS most of the time. Now, if he 1v1s them, he can
he
win,
has,
but...
he has the tools. It's called Cavalier. It's one of his cards. It just increases his health. I have it at level 4, and I have 5,200 health. I can charge Strix with a crack shot and just flamethrower him and win in an outright fight.
I lost track of her. Oh.
Like, I think that's a bit absurd that Fernando can just walk at Strix without using my shield, and maybe using 1 or 2 fireballs, and come out without really any damage on me.
Yeah. Then again,
You
you
just
did
gotta
say
know
he was
how
an
to use
off
your
tank.
champ. He is an off tank, yeah, but we have a barrack, which is why I'm using him.
But yeah,
Using
you know,
a Fernando main tank
Ghostface was
is
a lot
death
more fun. Ghostface was a lot more fun before, because now you could do like little peak wars with the survivors, where you could try to juke their line of sight, breaking your power, while they try to juke your line of sight, putting them exposed. It was just a lot of fun. You know, it was a little game you got to play with them, and it was all about were they smart enough to know the jukes you need to do in order to get enough time to break Ghostface out of his power. Now it doesn't even matter. Like literally. They made it so easy that even in the middle of chasing, they just look behind them and they super easy break him out of his power. There's no resistance anymore. They made him almost as easy. Like this literally feels like the PTB footage. It's like
shat on. Oh my god, sorry.
Yeah, it's that bad.
The reason I said get shat on was because Victor and Terminus both ulted at the same time, and I just kind of said no with my own ult.
I mean, I've got almost...
I'm a Fernando with max rejuve and max caught now. This is disgusting.
You know, I'm not even facing red rank survivors, and it's already it's still this fucking hard to get any sort of a stock on anyone. I can only imagine what it's gonna be like for fucking red rank survivors who are gonna be fucking sweaty as balls. They're gonna have their 4-stack teams. They're gonna be freaking sitting there with insta heals and keys and shit. Thought I saw something there.
Yeah! Dude, Fernando's like the off tank that... You know how Terminus is the type of off tank that if you're off tanking with Terminus, you want to walk off point entirely and chase people down no matter what? Fernando's the kind that sticks around point, just in case he's needed, and just kind of rapes people. Yeah, because this is fair. What I'm watching right now is fair. I just got a triple with Fernando. You know what I did? I fucked Terminus with Cauterize from my flamethrower, and then he blocked, and then Drogoz was helping me out with him. Then he looked up to block Drogo's rockets, and I hit him in the fucking stomach with a fireball.
You know what,
And then I walked off point chasing Ceres with my flamethrower, just like, suh. She bit the dust, and then I just turned and just shot a
just
fireball.
to show you how bad this has gotten, she went around the corner, and she still was breaking me out of my stock the entire time. It's a good thing I already had her exposed. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean,
Really
it's completely stupid. It's like, you know what really made me irritated? Was in the last, like, patch, during the anniversary event, they were talking about changing the map that Freddy's from. The preschool. You know, they're changing everything up, they're shortening loops. They're kind of using it as like a prototype for what they're trying to do with like all the maps in the game, give them revamps and give them alternate variations and stuff. And they said the reason behind doing all this was they wanted to influence more skill-based gameplay. And I find that bitterly ironic, because they want to influence more skill-based gameplay, but here they are removing the skill required to break Ghostface out of his stock. They've literally made it stupidly easy. Like, I was able to do it by myself before, and Survivor Friends groups were already starting to bully him, but now you just go, you can't even stalk anymore. They've done exactly what the PTB did. His stalk is now pointless, once again. Now they've changed. Now you have to use his stealth to mind game around jungle gyms, and that's literally it. That's all you get out of it. You sure you can... They made the leaning better. Oh, wow. Little good that does you when they can just see you around the corner, break you out around the fucking corner. Yeah, great job, devs.
Hey, so I got a 12 kill game with Fernando, and I had 62,000 damage. Only 2 people that outdamaged me was our team's Drogos and the enemy team's Victor. That was it.
Why was there no thing? Oh, they're in the basement. Oh.
Why was there no thing? Do you think I can fit in another ranked game?
I'm almost done. Yeah,
Alright.
see, she even knew I was there before it even started. Yeah, go ahead and just stay there on the ground. I'm gonna go find your friend. I want to get a 4K. At the very least, I fucking deserve a 4K for jumping through hoops to play this now trash killer. I'm so sick of these devs not listening. They listen about as well as my 5-year-old fucking sister. They do. It's the only thing I can compare it to, because these fucking devs are so tone deaf to their community, and it's just... It's like, are you trying to bring the dark times back? Like, really?
They care about the community less than EA does.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna say that. I say they care about one side of the community less than the other, and that's perfectly apparent.
Yeah, I don't think that they should be so biased towards the survivors, since there are 4 of them.
Yeah, that was the whole point. It's supposed to inspire team play, but the problem is there are survivors on Reddit who make these big old posts and act as if they're the voice of the community because they are not satisfied unless the killer is weak enough that they can be 1v1'd, which is why they hate Nurse, which is why they hate Spirit, which is why they hate Hillbilly. They are not killers you can just 1v1.
And then there's Cannibal, who's just easy mode Billy that you buy.
Exactly.
He's just a pay to win Billy.
Not even say pay to win, because that would imply he's strong, which he's not. The only reason people buy him
Cannibal
is
is
for his perk.
strong.
No. He's okay.
He is strong.
He's okay. There's the why is he not strong? Because his chainsaw is a lot more strict than Hillbilly's, and it has a lot more bigger of a punishment.
Strict strict is only in lateral movement speed. About it.
That's not even my point. It's like, my problem with it, it has less situations in which it is useful. That's my point. At least with Hillbilly, there are certain indoor situations where you can use his chainsaw just because he gets that movement speed. But with Leatherface...
Same with Cannibal, because Cannibal can actually turn with it and turn around corners and shit, where Hillbilly can't.
Actually, when Hillbilly first does his wind up, he actually has an incredibly fast turning. You can almost 180 with Hillbilly for a split second after his chainsaw starts.
With Cannibal, you can do that at
Like,
any point.
I can literally do that around corners, and it's actually kind of nutty when it works.
And Hillbilly can do it the entire time his chainsaw's flying.
Yeah, but once again, he doesn't move as fast.
He still moves fast enough to catch a survivor fairly easily, as long as they're not, like, 3 miles ahead of him.
I don't know.
And with Billy, you still don't want to use your chainsaw if they're 3 miles ahead of you, because then they can just turn.
Yeah.
And you don't get that super turn speed that you do whenever you first started, because they're 3 miles ahead of you.
Yeah, but still, Hillbilly's just way better. It's just, there's no disputing that. That's not a bad...
It is, but, you know, literally just did.
Look, Leatherface is easier, and he's not like the worst killer ever, but he's a far cry from Billy. There's no contest between the two.
I mean, Billy is better, like, far better for monitoring the area.
Oh yeah, his map pressure is second to none, except maybe Nurse, and even then Nurse needs...
say except maybe Nurse.
But even then, Nurse needs Omega Blink to even challenge Billy at the map pressure game. And even then, the funny thing about it is when Freddy gets his rework, he's going to be the king of map pressure because he's going to be able to teleport across the map instantly.
I mean, at least you're going to be able to tell whenever he does that.
Yeah.
Except it's going to be retarded whenever someone plays Legion, gets that Legion perk that you can tell which generators are almost done by the intensity of their aura.
That's kind of pointless. If you want something like that, just run Discordance or run Thrilling Tremors or something, you know? There are much better ways of doing it without wasting an add-on slot. If you want a good add-on for Legion, honestly, his best add-ons are his...
I kind of completely forgot that Discordance existed.
Fair enough.
But,
Alright, give me just a sec.
that is still a Legion perk, though. And it is still a really strong one.
Yeah. Alright, well, give me just a second. I'm going to finish this outro with this. So, yeah, as you guys have heard, me and my friend here have been talking about Ghostface and a bunch of other things. So now you know my opinions about this change to Ghostface. I am not a fan of it in the slightest. If the survivors in that match weren't such... For Frank, they were being too ballsy. Way too ballsy. They thought they could just bully me, but luckily I know how to play killer basics because I've played a variety of killers. As you could see, even in the situations where I should have had the advantage, Ghostface's stock was way too easily beaten, and they can still tell when I'm approaching because the noise his clothes make are still pretty loud. I don't know why they're insisting that he has such a massive telltale, even though they've just butchered his power. Once again, thank you, Behavior, for completely and utterly ignoring your community, and for ruining yet another killer that had promise and could have been another fun addition to the higher rankings. Hope you're ready to see nothing but fucking Nurse and Billy montages again for the next 3 months, while you make another fucking chapter. Anyhow, this is what my thoughts on this. If you guys have any questions, just comment down below, and say hi to YouTube, Blackwing. Okay, he doesn't want to speak. See you guys.
How about, fuck you all, and, what's it called? Monetization. You fuck. There you go, demonetized. There you go.
Not that I'm getting monetized in the first place. Alright, I'll see you guys later.